Erica here with Prep Scholar GMAT. Back today with another top GMAT sentence correction trick. As always, if you like this video, please hit the button to subscribe and feel free to check out our online program and tutoring options on the Prep Scholar website or head over to our blog for even more great GMAT content. Links are in the description. Now, as we discussed in our other sentence correction trick video, errors in sentence correction questions are often really hard to identify. Getting rid of extra information, like we recommend in our other trick, can often work wonders for finding these errors. However, it doesn't always work. Sometimes the error is in the extra information that we remove, and sometimes we just don't have time to plug in and reword each answer choice. This is why it's good to have a second trick on hand when you can't find the error. Use the answer choices. Now, in every problem, there will be differences between the correct answer and the rest of the choices that make the correct answer right and the wrong answers wrong. By simply identifying these differences between our answer choices, we can locate potential errors. Let's try this out with a real GMAT problem. If we read through the original sentence, it may not be immediately clear what the question is testing. Is the original sentence even wrong? So we'll look to the answer choices for clues. The first difference we notice in this sentence is probably going to be saw versus seen. It's the first word of the answer choices, it's dealing with tense, which is often a pretty straightforward error, and there are only two options in all 5 of the answer choices. Saw, which is a past tense verb, and seen, which is a past participle. So we use it with have, has, or had to create a perfect tense. So which do we want? Past or perfect? Looking back in the sentence, we see that the subject of the sentence, visitors, have looked up into the canopy. That's present perfect. These same visitors then proceed to see the monkeys. So our visitors are doing 2 actions at the same time, looking and seeing. This means we want these 2 verbs to be parallel. So we want visitors have looked and seen. So while the issue with saw may not have been immediately obvious, noticing the difference between saw and seen gives us a hint as to what might be going on in this sentence. So we'll go ahead and rule out A, B, and C. Next, we'll look at the difference we notice next, whose versus with. These words come after a comma and describe the information preceding them, so I'm going to guess we have a modifier issue here. Now, we know that some modifiers, like those beginning with which and whose, are picky. They only ever refer to the noun closest to them. In this sentence, that noun is branches. All right, so in E, the branches have arms and legs that hang like socks on a clothesline. That's not right. We want this modifier to refer to monkeys. So we can eliminate E and pick D as our correct answer. Now note, if we'd gone with this error first, we could have eliminated A and B for using whose as well. Also note, there was another big difference in this sentence. Hang versus were hanging versus have hung. Now, we could have used these differences to eliminate, but because there are 4 different options here, it isn't as easy to first figure out what's being tested, or 2, to eliminate answers quickly. We have to evaluate each of the 4 options. So knowing that this would be a more difficult difference to work with, we're best off saving it for last. Turns out we didn't even need to use it. A quick caution. Oftentimes, test makers will put trap differences, or differences that don't matter, into sentence correction questions to catch test takers who are using this strategy. So, like we did on our example problem, if you notice a difference that seems overly complicated or that you don't know what to do with, look for one that you do. Some good and relatively easy errors to target are switches between singular and plural, which indicate an agreement error, changes in verb tense, which pretty obviously indicate a tense error, changes from verb to noun to adjective, which can often indicate a parallelism error, and big sentence rearrangements, which frequently indicate a modifier error. If you have any questions on what we talked about today or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and happy GMAT studies.